to her, but there is a lot of like verbal abuse, which affecting her mental health. She's entitled to a weekly off days, but the employer doesn't allow her to go out. So she's not meeting anyone, any of her friends.
Completely
or
isolated
community. Complete
her.
isolation at all. And her phone usage also is very restricted. So when she want to call her family, her
Right.
children, so the employer is there watching her, what she said. She cannot complain. There's no room for her to complain. So what happened? When she called me, she said that, please help me. So I want to, I mean, I need help. And then I said that, what kind of help? So please save me, because I have no way to leave the
To
house. The
escape,
only
yeah.
thing I can think of for me to escape is just to jump from the house. And they live in fifth floor. So it took me 5 days to convince her, to speak to her, to convince her that we will send police to rescue you. And she's terrified of police because the employer always threatens her using the police.
Right.
The employer said that if she reports me to the police,
You're gonna send you back home.
I mean, not as simple as that.
All right.
So because the previous experience with the previous domestic worker, when she complains to the agency, the employers put a wrong charges against her, and she disappeared. And we don't know whether she was deported or she was sent to work in another home. She don't know. So, but I talk to her, and I tell her what we do. We rescued hundreds or even thousands of women in the same situation, and then this is what we do, and then we will send you back safely to your family. We said, with that assurance, she agreed. On the fifth day, she agreed to be rescued. And then I said, by hook or by crook, you have to follow the police. Even if the employer stop you from leaving the house, you have to follow the police. You have to be removed from the house first before we think about
Another step of action.
Intervention.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on another case. It took me 2 months to speak to the also a domestic worker. She's from Indonesia. She's quite old. And also she's reluctant to engage the police, So because she said that her agent, because she worked with the agent, her agent is too dangerous, and she have a lot of, connection.
Yeah.
The agent is female, also from Indonesia. And then after that, we plan for an escape, So, but she have no way to escape as well, because everything is monitored, and she cannot go out if without the permission of the agent, So finally, after 2 months, I have to make my own decision to get help from the D3 police to rescue her, knowing that her safety is at risk. So this is the kind of the intervention that we have to make at certain points, even though without the approval of the victims, So we have to make assessment from time to time, even though they not agree to engage with the police.
Now we're talking to, if you just tuned in, we're talking to Maslina Abu Hassan. She's the program manager of the Anti-Trafficking in Persons ATIP program in Tenaganita. So if you have any questions for our guest here today, we're live on TikTok and also on YouTube. Leave a question down there, and then we'll get to it as soon as possible. But for now, we're going for a little short break, and when we come back, we'll delve deeper into human trafficking right here on TRAXXfm. Take My Breath Away, Berlin, 31 minutes past 11. Good morning, Malaysia. We're live on TikTok as well with today's guest, Maslina Abu Hassan. She's the program manager of the Anti-Trafficking in Persons ATIP program at Tenaganita. Thank you so much for coming to the studio and enlightening us. During the break, we did talk about a lot of things, particularly how do you fall into the category of human trafficking and smuggling. We already know the beginnings of how it all started. Now, the next question that we have so far, MK.
Yes, so Puan, so when it comes to ending human trafficking, it is a lot of different parties' efforts together to end in a collective responsibility. So what would be your recommendations in strengthening the implementation of victim-centered responses when it comes to all agencies?
First, I would say utilization of VAS. VAS means Victim Assistance Specialist. You know that we can use them actually from the rescue itself up to the repatriation process. You know, so currently we have less than 10 VAS in the country, and their role is basically to calm the victim of trafficking during the raids, you know, or during the rescue. And also to facilitate victim identification, because you know, when just imagine when there is a raid, you know, so and the passport is not with them, you know, they are terrified, you know, because I mean, we have migrant workers who work for, I mean, how many years? More than 5 years, 10 years. Our domestic worker even 15 years without you know, having a work permit, even though the employers or the agent promised them, you know, they will do a work permit for them, but it didn't happen. So this the role of VAS is crucial at this stage, you know. So we also understand the limitation that we have. For example, some of the rescue or raids happen in the middle of night, for example, and there is no space to apply for VAS because the enforcement agency have to apply for VAS services, and then it will take a few days. Okay, that's our limitation. But I think something to consider, you know, so that we can engage VAS in most of the rescue. Maybe they should be on call, like doctor on call, you know. So maybe VAS also should be on call. This is one of the alternative. Besides that, we also have to think how to deploy more, appoint more VAS, so that it can, you know, help the enforcement agencies, you know, during all the stages of the intervention. Apart from that, I would say specialized training for all investigation officers, particularly, and also frontline officers on human trafficking, you know, and also on the approaches that is relevant to human trafficking. For example, victim-centered responses, you know, trauma-informed approach to strengthen evidence gathering and also victim identification. Because one of our challenges is in the investigation, actually, victim identification, you know. So, and we found out based on our experience, some IOs, investigation officer, lack training or lack knowledge how to investigate trafficking cases. So how do we prosecute the traffickers, and how do we protect the victims when the front lines, you know, officers are not equipped and not competent. And I'm also proposing that the syllabus on the, I mean, to include the human trafficking and the approaches in their training syllabus. For example, in Pulapol, you know, in immigration and GTK, in their academy, they should have this syllabus already in order to equip the
officers,
future investigation officer and frontlines officers to investigate, you know, and to prosecute. This also goes to AGC, you know, to the DPPs and to judges, you know. So they too need to be sensitized. They should receive the training as well, you know, because sometimes we found out the DPP is not equipped, is not competent to, you know, to handle the case. The third one, strengthening interagency coordination. You know, we found out that many workers return home, or many victims or suspected victim return home without getting their salary. Why this thing happen? Because I mean, yes, we understand the investigation is on ATIP offences,
Yeah.
trafficking offences, but why are we not looking into the unpaid wages?
Right.
Or why are we not giving so much emphasis on unpaid wages of the workers? Imagine that they work for 10 years, for 15 years. They go back empty-handed. So I think in this case we have to relook how we can ensure all victims they get their unpaid wages before sending them back to the country, and this will definitely prevent re-trafficking. Because we don't you go back with nothing, and Indonesia, for example, is economically quite bad, and then there is no opportunity for employment. They tends to go back for
They tend to come back to try. I see.
So if cannot through regular way, through irregular way, that means they will be
Easier for them to get trafficked again.
Yeah, re-trafficking again. Yeah, so
Yep.
that's on strengthening interagency coordination. The fourth one, the court process must be expedited, because we have cases like in our shelter waiting for more than 1 year or 2 years. So the case is not over, and we found out there is a lot of postponement after postponement. And then this one we really need to see how the agency together with MAPO and enforcement agency with us, because how to speed up the case, because prolonged court process is definitely denying the victims from
From
earning
closure.
income
Yeah, income.
and supporting their family back home. We heard of cases where when the spouses are here working and they cannot send back money home because they are in our shelter for
Yep.
period of over 1 year. It break the relationship between the husband and wife, between mother and children. And some of them, decided to marry another woman.
Understood,
So
yeah.
this add on burdens to the
To the
The
victim.
victims, yeah.
victim,
Yeah.
which is the main witness for the court case. And with the court cases also, the traffickers and perpetrators must be sentenced.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are not being sentenced, because there is not enough evidence to prosecute the traffickers. So this is something that we really need to look into, and also we recommend then that to stop placing the unidentified victims to detention center upon revocation of their interim protection order. Okay, at Tenaganita, we provide trauma-informed care during 21 days of investigation. For example, when they were rescued, the enforcement, the IO have to bring them to the court and get the interim protection order. So this period can be during the 21 days to facilitate investigation.
Yep.
But if the court said that she's not a victim, so what happened? They will hand the victims to immigration. Immigration will put them in the detention center throughout the country, and pending deportation. So and it take about maybe between 1 month to 4 months
Wow.
before they can go home, because
It's long, yeah.
if the employer or the agent doesn't want to provide the tickets, who's going to provide the tickets?
Yeah.
So this is the problem when we take care of them during 21 days. We give them trauma informed services, and the victim centered services. But after that,
What happens?
we send
Yeah.
them to the detention center, and we know the condition of the detention center, and we feel very sad that about this practice. So we really have to stop this practice, because it really contradicts with the principle of victim-centered services, and we must find another alternative. For example, they can stay in our shelter, and then while we make arrangement with the particular embassies for their safe repatriation, and this will protect their safety, their dignity, and prevent re-traumatization.
Yeah.
and this will reflect definitely the principle of victim-centered services. So these are the main recommendation that I really would like to put forward, so that we can strengthen our protection and investigation in combating human trafficking.
And then what's your message to the public so that they too can actually play their role in ending human trafficking?
We need to increase our knowledge on human trafficking, and how to recognize the signs of trafficking, because Malaysian too are a victim of human trafficking. How many of us are? I mean, our youth, male and female, brought to a scam
To other countries as well.
In Myanmar, for example, in Laos, in Cambodia, it's thousands of them. And now the scam center, because of the crackdown of the scam center in these countries, they shifted the operation to Malaysia. So maybe in future we have more, traffic victim internally, from this country, because like the case in Forest City in Johor, the scam center, the crackdown on scam center is already happened. And then the student, the university researchers, they can do more research on and publication to raise awareness on human trafficking. For example, what we did in Tenaganita, we produced four series of four publication under the trafficking series. We have this is our latest publication, the Trap Trace, with the title Unseen, Unheard and Unspoken, because this is the reality of the trafficking victim.
So those are the stories that what you've seen in the previous this is all history.
From our
cases,
from
right?
our cases. Our first publication is this one, Revolving Door. It's about, we produced it in 2008. It's about the reality of the refugees, mainly from Myanmar at this time, and this is in 2008. After that, we came out with the Global Cash, which is the modern day slavery of the fishermen. And then after that, we have the Unrecognized, which is to talk about the reality of the domestic worker in Malaysia.
Wow.
And this is the last one.
And so all this, can we get it online? All these books, these stories, these cases?
You can come to our office and get it.
I see.
So
Okay.
because we are giving to this is a tool of advocacy. The publication is tool of advocacy and also awareness raising.
All right.
Apart from that, we came out also with the pamphlets like this for the migrant workers, because we do outreach. And we tell them, we have session with them, so telling them these are the sign of
That you are being trafficked.
Yeah, you are
right.
being trafficked. Because sometimes they don't know. They are being in traffic situation and how to seek help. So with here, we have our 2 hotline numbers. We have our address so that they can reach out to us anytime. That's on publication.
All right.
And another one, we must encourage the public to report.
Yeah.
Because sometimes one thing with Malaysian, we tend not to be busybody, but I don't think we can go on with that, because trafficking is a crime and we must combat the crime together.
Exactly.
Sometimes the domestic worker next door,
Correct.
so we know they're having trouble. Why can't you, if you're afraid to call the police, to engage with the police, you can call us or the embassy to report. We will ensure that your identity will be protected, because most people doesn't want to be involved.
Right.
So we must report. And as a consumer, we must support the businesses that respect the workers' right, not to, and avoid using the products or services linked to forced labor. This will reduce demand for forced labor. By doing this, we can break the chains of exploitation and forced labor. Okay, and also we need to change our view against towards the migrant workers. They are here to work, to survive, to support their family, and they also contribute to our economy. They are not criminals, even though they got cheated and they don't get, they don't have a work permit, because most of the time the employer or the agent promise but never do a work permit for them. This
puts burden on the victims as well.
They cannot be punished because of that. They should be protected. And then the employer need to be
held reliable on that as well. Be responsible.
Not the victims.
Yep.
And then my last message goes to all the employers out there. Please learn what are the indicators of human trafficking. This can save you from being charged for trafficking offences. So for example, the employer of a domestic worker, you can be easily charged under the forced labour. Because if you look at in the TIP report, US TIP report, that the US State Department produce every year, domestic worker is one of the reason why our country go down to tier 2.5 or tier
Wow.
3. So there are serious implications when we involve in forced labor, and so forth. So I mean, maybe the employers does not know what is the indicators of human trafficking. So but I can tell you that includes withholding of passport, for example,
Yeah.
making them work long hours, not paying their wages, withholding their wages, withholding their passport, not paying their overtime, for example, and then physical abuse, sexual abuse,
Horrible.
deprived food,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not giving them a proper place to sleep.
Yep.
Until now, we receive cases they sleep in the storeroom.
Yeah, we still
with a lot
hear
of
about
And
the
then-
construction workers sleeping in containers in very
so
unhygienic places.
This is not new to us, but the problem with us also, we normalize so many things.
Yeah.
And then we normalize withholding of passport, even though it's
considered illegal,
offense
yeah.
under the Passport Act. We hold their wages is offense under the Employment Act. We abuse them, is offense under Penal Code, for example. And then we didn't pay their wages. I mean, how if your employer didn't pay you your wages for
How
1
is-
month, 2
yeah.
months, 10
How is
years,
your mental
15
health?
years,
Yeah.
how do you feel?
We're gonna go on
How
strike.
can we normalize
Yeah.
sending them back without getting their wages?
Yeah.
How cruel we are, So something is not right. Something is very wrong in our society,
So-
and we really need to
change this norm.
to make changes, So
internally as well.
Yes,
Definitely,
yes.
it's involves everybody from the
Definitely.
victim to the employers to the agents as well. So if, let's say for example, if I was trying to find let's talk about what is it called this a maids, for example, go
we,
to the
we don't call them maids, we call them domestic workers.
domestic
Domestic
let's say
Because the maid is degrading. This is also when I heard people call maid
Maids, yeah.
right? Oh, kakak.
maid is degrading.
Right.
So
Domestic
we
worker.
OBB, we always correct them. I say, even in the government meeting, I always say that please don't call
Right,
them
it's more
Maid.
empowering to
They
call
are
them domestic workers.
Previously, our Employment Act defined them as domestic servant,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why we really made them as a servant. But after a long time of our advocacy together with the other CSOs, NGOs, they changed it in 2022 to
Oh.
domestic employee.
domestic employees.
Yes,
I
but
see.
it does not mean that they are protected. So the forced labor involving domestic workers still very rampant,
Yeah.
and we have a lot of domestic workers who are brought in our country, and work under forced labor situation. If you look at the official amount of domestic worker in the country is very low. I think about 100,000, but the undocumented one, is more than that.
Yeah, definitely.
To care for our family, but very strange. You ask them to take care of your family. They are leaving behind their family to take care of our family. But how do we treat them? We don't pay their salary. We don't do a
Yep.
permit for them. We make them work for long hours. I mean, this is something is and when the employers beat the domestic worker, for example, the children are watching.
Yeah.
We are instigating the culture of abuse within our family.
Yeah.
And the children will grow up beating their own family members or
Or
their
people they
wives
feel that
or-
are
or
less
their
than them.
workers,
Yeah, correct.
So this is very worrying,
So-
and yeah.
Your advice is to make sure that if you are hiring a domestic a worker, make sure it's from a reliable source, and make sure that you follow all the rules that has been laid out in the of course in our constitution, our laws as well. Okay.
Right.
So it seems that we don't have much time, Puan, but thank you so much for enlightening us on today's little topic when it comes to human trafficking, and we understand that it takes everybody needs to play their part in making sure that this situation does not happen anymore. But once again, it's all up to you, the listeners out there, and making sure that you do your part as well and make sure that these things doesn't happen. So we're talking to Puan Maslina Abu Hassan. She's the program manager of the Anti-Trafficking in Persons ATIP program at Tenaganita. So once again, thank you so much, Puan, for coming to the studio, and hopefully we'll get you again anytime soon and give us more good updates as well.
Yes, definitely. Also, yeah, treat your workers the way you want to be treated as well.
Right.
Simple as that.
Definitely.
Thank
Yes.
you. All right, so we're going to go for a short break, and when we come back, we have the news, and then we'll be right back with more of your stories, and also again some more song requests at around 1. So stay tuned. For now, Stephen Sanchez, Until I Found You, right here on Tracks. Good morning, Malaysia.